The sun rose slowly over the small village of Sitapur, painting the mud houses in golden light. Among them was a small, cracked home with a rusted roof. Inside, a man named Raghav Mishra tied a white cloth around his head and stepped out with his old cycle rickshaw. Every day was the same. 12 hours of pulling passengers under the burning sun, earning just enough for food. His body was tired, but his spirit wasn't. Raghav's dream wasn't money. It was his son, Arjun. Whenever someone asked, "Raghav, why work so hard?" he smiled and said, "Because my son won't pull a rickshaw. He'll ride in one." Arjun was bright. He loved studying, but he hated the stares, the pity, and the poverty. When his father dropped him at school, students would whisper and giggle at Maikin, "Look, the rickshawala's son is here." Arjun pretended not to hear, but every word cut deep. One morning, as Raghav stopped his rickshaw near the gate, Arjun said quietly, "Baba, please stop here. Don't come in front of the school." "Why, Beta? My friends, they don't need to know you drive a rickshaw." Raghav froze for a second. He smiled faintly and said, "Of course, Beta. I'll wait right here." When Arjun walked away, Raghav's eyes followed him, filled with both love and pain. He whispered to himself, "It's okay. One day he'll be proud to call me his father." As Arjun grew, his marks soared. He topped his school and his teachers praised him. But with dreams came expenses, tuition fees, books, exam forms. Raghav began taking extra rides at night. He stopped eating lunch to save a few rupees. Sometimes he slept hungry but smiled anyway, thinking, greater than one more day closer to his dream. One night, his wife Meena said, "You're killing yourself for his studies." "Then let me die with purpose," he replied softly. Years later, Arjun got admission into a top engineering college in Delhi. The entire village celebrated, but Raghav didn't tell anyone what it cost him. He had sold his rickshaw, his only source of income, to pay the admission fee. When Arjun asked where the money came from, Raghav smiled. "Don't worry, Beta. God helps those who dream big." Arjun hugged him and left for Delhi, unaware of the sacrifices buried behind that smile. Days turned into months. Arjun got busy with college life. New friends, new city, new world. He hardly called home. Raghav wrote letters almost every week. He didn't know how to use WhatsApp or email. Each letter began with the same line, greater than, "How are you, Beta? Are you eating well?" He kept them neatly in a box, waiting for the right day to send them. But he never did. He didn't want his son to know how much he was struggling. One rainy night, Raghav fell sick while helping push a stalled truck. He coughed blood, but ignored it. He couldn't afford to rest. His wife's medicines depended on his labor. Weeks later, his health worsened. The village doctor said softly, "You need rest, Raghav. Your lungs are weak." He laughed weakly, greater than, "I'll rest when my son becomes an engineer." In Delhi, Arjun was preparing for his placement interview. He received a call from home. His uncle said, "Beta, your father isn't well. You should come home." Arjun replied, "I have my interview tomorrow, Chacha. I'll come next week." Next week never came. 3 days later, another call. This time, there was only silence. His uncle's voice broke. "Raghav is gone. Beta." The phone slipped from Arjun's hand. He sat on the floor, trembling, his heart whole. At the funeral, the house was quiet except for the sound of rain. On the table lay the small wooden box Raghav had kept beside his bed. Inside were dozens of letters, neatly tied with an old thread. Arjun opened the last one. It read, "Dear Arjun, if I am not there when you succeed, don't cry. Just promise me you'll never look down on anyone who works hard. I may not have left you money, but I left you courage, and that's enough for any man to rise." Tears soaked the paper. Arjun fell to his knees, whispering, "I'm sorry, Baba. I should have come sooner." Months passed. Arjun got his dream job, but instead of celebrating, he returned to his village. He rebuilt the old house, placed his father's photo on the wall, and opened a school for poor children. Free education, free meals. The name on the board read, Raghav Pathshala, a place where dreams don't die. At the inauguration, Arjun said, "My father never went to school, but he taught me the greatest lesson. Success means nothing if you forget who pushed your rickshaw to get there." Years later, a small boy from the same school got selected for IIT. A reporter asked Arjun, "What inspired you to build all this?" Arjun smiled, pointing to the frame of his father on the wall. An unwritten letter, and a love that never asked for anything in return. Behind every successful child, there's a parent who got